Well, hello, everybody. Welcome into Julie Loves Paper. I'm here today to make a Christmas flip-flop journal, and I'm just going to be doing some low-key, low-level crafting, just getting my Christmas ready. I'm not sure. I was trying to do orientation the long way, but the computer is telling me I should do it this way or change my settings, and changing my settings is a thing. Let me turn the volume off on my laptop if I can figure that out. It's a lot. There we are. All right, just thought I'd show my face for a minute before I got started. I've got my desk set up, lots of fun things to make with. So we are going to go ahead and get started, and we'll see if this creates or saves or whatever, because I don't know. This is my first time doing this, so be gentle. All right. Hello. Oh, Joanna's here. Hi, Joanna. I'm glad to see you. All right, let me flip the camera and we're going to show my desk real quick. All right, here we are coming in. Now, which way, guys? I don't know how to rotate the device back. Any thoughts, anybody? Always a little technical difficulties getting started. Oh, I hope I'm not making anybody seasick, honestly. All right. Let's see. Hello, Robin is here. Paula, is that you? Hi there. Good to see you guys. I'm trying to figure out how to rotate this so it is in the vertical position. And you know, there's always a learning curve. Well, if anyone knows how, throw it in the comments and I'll work on it. Otherwise, I'm going to get started because I'm excited. In case you don't know, I'm a teacher and I'm on Thanksgiving break this week, and I'm very excited to be making something, and I thought I would just go on live and do it in front of everybody because why not? Anyway, once again, I've never done this before, so I thought I would just invite everybody in and show you what I have and what I'm going to make. Of course, here's what I've gathered. The gathering is probably always my most favorite part. I love that so much. Just getting all the stuff together. So you can see I've got this little box. It's a cute little Merry Christmas box. And I've got all kinds of things in here, including gems, tags, little flashcards and such, some little stickers, words. I've got some trims and fabrics over here. I've got this cute little door ornament and some other little 3D elements, and then just some scraps of papers and metals, a vintage Christmas card just in case. And I also have another little wooden box over here with just some inks, my glues, ribbons, trims, washi tape, ready to go. And that's what I am. I'm ready to go if nothing else. All right, so we're just going to kind of organize that for a minute, and let me show you what else I have on my desk. Now, this little book does take signatures as well as envelopes. They get sewed inside, and I've already gone ahead and created or started creating some of my signatures, and you can see I've got 3 of them lined up here ready to go, and hopefully we'll get some of those in. I know, right? All the good stuff. I could take days sorting and prepping and getting all the things I want to put into a journal. I did grab some envelopes. I grabbed more than I needed, honestly. I have some business envelopes. I got it on my husband's desk. Don't tell him. There was a couple of vintagey looking card envelopes. I even found a red small one that I love. Another small one. And then these blue ones were from some kind of stationery set, but they're pretty much the same size as the business envelopes. So, and they're pale enough or light enough to not like be an issue with color. So I thought those were fun. So I'll probably end up using those, but that will be the basis. And I watched a lot of tutorials on YouTube to try to figure out how to do it. And so, you know, you just do it. Sometimes you just kind of wing it and you just do the best you can with what you got. All right, and then also, in case you don't know, I did put in the description some printables. So I put together some public domain images for Christmas and organized them for you guys. And the link is in the description of this video. So hopefully you guys can find it. I'm actually going to need someone to go and download it and see if it looks okay. All right, if you don't like it or whatever, just someone check it for me if you get the chance, and just let me know if you want them. All right, cute little figgy pudding brought to the table. Christmas birds, always a favorite. I actually have two of the same images here. You can see the different colorways of these two Christmas postcards, which are pretty awesome. But I decided to put them on there so I think I'm going to fussy cut this one and pop dot it on here so it's like dimension and brighter like that. That was kind of my thought about that. And then I love these two ladies that are carrying all their Christmas parcels, and it's even labeled Christmas shoppers. So how cute is that? All right, so if you want that, that is hopefully available to you in the link below. Let's get started. So from all the research I did, it looks like I need to get about 5 envelopes ready. I think I'm going to use this as my cover, this little red door. And I love this red envelope, but I feel like it may not be the one to go on the cover. And so for the first one, I'm going to use kind of one of the smaller envelopes. And then I'm going to glue it to one of the larger envelopes. Anyway, just kind of playing right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue those together, something like that. And then my door would just sit right there. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do, but let's just pretend. Just going to stick that in there, the flap in. I'm going to glue this flap like this, but I think I want it to open up, so I'm going to cut it first. And what I mean by cut it first, like I'm just literally going to cut down the sides with my tiny little scissors here. And I want this to be an open flap. Now, of course, envelopes, are not very thick. Like these are not mailers or anything. All right. So we are going to be covering everything with beautiful paper. Because if I've got nothing else in my life, I've got tons of paper. I also want this to be kind of my style, bright and vintage at the same time. So I'm okay with some ripped edges. In case you saw what I just did there. A little bit of ripping. All right. All right. So I'm going to glue this together first. Also suggesting that you don't use a water-based glue for this because these envelopes, like I said, are pretty thin. And what's going to happen, the water-based glue will wrinkle your papers. So we're not doing that today. Also, I'm offsetting it a little bit so that the envelope is towards the bottom. Now, I have never made one of these before, but Joanna, I know you have. So if you have any suggestions or anything, feel free to yell them out. Or not, whatever makes you happy. All right, and so then I'm going to go ahead and cut this one open too, and I'm going to glue him on the back here and have a double page open. So my whole base of this book is going to be envelopes. All right, and of course you can use scrapbook paper instead if you want that. I'm just going to go ahead and cut my envelopes open with my little scissors here. I don't do perfect, so I'm okay with how it comes out. Then I'm going to glue this guy right here. Love me some Fabri-Tac. I actually was looking at Michael's going to do probably a pickup and get some more when I go to town tomorrow. Is anybody crafting with me today? This is not really a tutorial. It's more like a, I don't know what I'm calling it. It's just a craft along. It's a craft along. That's what we're calling it. And then the other video, or the other one of the tutorials I saw, she cut these last 2 envelopes open. So we're just going to go ahead and work on getting that done too. All right, it just appealed to me. And then I'm going to glue this one together as well. So I need to, how will that fit? I'm not mad at these blue envelopes at all. They're kind of nice. I kind of like them. So I'm just going to add a little bit under here and attach it, and then go around and add the rest of the glue around, since I'm not exactly sure and I don't want to have glue everywhere. And I just don't want to put paper over the fold, so I'm just looking to make sure I can still see the fold and that none of the paper is covering it up, so that my folds will be nice, hopefully. All right, popping in like that. There we go. Got some glue popping out. All right. So then we can start folding her up a little bit. So we've got the front cover and the main envelope. I'm going to start making my folds, but it looks like they're going to be going a little backwards from what they originally were. And then this is the last bit. Something like that. And then we need one more envelope on the back. So I think if I put him in like that, he looks like he might fit pretty nicely right there. I don't mind him at all with his vintage coloring. Makes me happy. And then put this guy right here. You guys ever made one of these before? Anyone? Let me know if you have any questions about what I'm using or what I'm doing. I'll try, I promise. Try to answer. All right. So I'm just adding some more glue. I went with the wider one. It just seemed to be a better fit. And then I'm going to put him down so I can see the fold. Kind of right in the middle to cover up this cutout. Wiping up some of the excess glue there. Okay. He looks a little crooked, so I scooched him over. Just a little scooch. That's another thing I love about Fabri-Tac. It'll just kind of rub off. All right, and there we go. There's a base of our book started. So we have the front cover. It'll flip out. We have a pocket here. We have a little glue. All right, we got this section, then this section, and then this back cover. I have no idea if I've done this right, but this is what we're gonna go with. You started one, Robin, but you never finished it. Girl, this is my first time, so if I can do it, you can do it. I hope you have it pulled out. Maybe you can be working on it too. Maybe you can give me some pointers. All right, so then what I've done when I get this far, what I want to do when I get this far is I want to grab some papers to start covering. And I do have a whole, I contained it. I put the whole thing in this thingy from this organizer from Leo by Mail. And so I'm just pulling out some of my, oh, I haven't paper clipped. Some Christmassy looking things. I have a whole selection of printables that I printed or found that I've already printed and just want to use it up. So like I have some Ruby and Pearl XO. I have some Amity Bloom. I found some, there's one more. I can't think of what it is. I have some Cheryl Francis. I've grabbed some Jenny Bolin. This is Jenny Bolin. It's pretty. All right, I grabbed, let's see what else. Music papers. I had this, that was a freebie from somewhere. That was pink paper peppermints. All kinds of good stuff. There's so much good stuff out there. All right, use what you have. Just find what you've got. If you've never bought any printables before, maybe just try one and see if you like it. See if there's a freebie you like. Here, these were also the Christmas morning from Ruby and Pearl XO. Yes, that is Anna Griffin paper for sure, an oldie but a goodie. And you can even see it's got her tag. So if you love Anna Griffin, her style is my style. and goes with all the other things. Joanna and I are friends, and we talk a lot sometimes, and we have a lot of similar tastes. Joanna, you said you've never done it the same way twice. I agree. Like, I feel like this is one of those projects that you can just do differently over and over. You could use scrapbook paper. You could not cut the envelopes open. You could use them, you know, complete as they are. I'm just going to start building my thing. So this is kind of like an accordion style. So it does open flat all the way. But once you get like your signatures pulled in, it might start to be less able to open, if that makes any sense. She's pretty over there. I like this image. I don't know if I'm in this one with the red dress. It's really pretty. I also have this, which I thought might be nice, just listed in there. And then of course this big guy, the Christmas tree one. Hi there, Lindsay. Good to see you. Hey, Stacy. Good to see you guys. We're in the middle of making. I've already made the base, so now I'm in the middle of starting to decorate. I love this, the holly tree waltzes. I think we're going to put it over one of these folds that folds out so that it like pops out at you. Let's just commit. All right, I'm just going to commit. This one is from the Christmas morning, I think from Ruby and Pearl XO. All right, so it looks like it fit that whole envelope, so I'm just going to go in with some glue, and then I'm going to chop off what I don't need. All right, you really want to make sure you get your edges glued down well, so make sure you get glue all the way to those corners. And then I do like to put glue in the middle. I know. Some people say it's a waste. I love it. Oh, you know what I should have done before this is probably ink all my edges. But I guess we'll get there. All right, I got glue popping out here, just wiping it off. All right, let me grab my ruler. All right, just plopping that down. I love that one. That would be great for a first page too, I think. The holly tree. So festive. And then I'm just going to find my edge and then just rip off what I don't need. All right, you can see a little blue down there, but every place is an opportunity for something exciting to happen. All right, so I'm going to put the Anna Griffin paper right here. I think that is a nice play together. These two play well together. And then I can put an image right in the middle to kind of keep them, or, you know, hopefully you know what I'm saying. I think I'm going to line it up and then maybe put some washi tape down it. All right, glue going on. I think, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this this envelope pocket, so I'm going to go ahead and just not put glue on it for the moment and just put glue like around it. All right, like that. And then this piece is going to come in. Once again, you got to kind of make sure it gets in the edges. I'm not sure how well I got those edges there, but I can always go back and add some more if I need to. All right, lovely, lovely. I love using up this Christmas paper stuff. So I'm not going to lie, I was going through my Christmas paper a while ago and I found like 4 pieces of October afternoon Christmas paper. I'm not even sure where it came from, honestly. But in case you know me or don't know me, I might be an October afternoon hoarder. I might have a problem. Anyone else? All right, so I'm just going to hold and rip like that. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, let's see if we can find some washi tape to cover that up. You need to use your October afternoon, Joanna. I know. Me too. I say that every time. Why don't I just use it? And do I use it? No. No, I do not. It just sits around here and just keeps looking pretty. It keeps getting better with age, I think. All right, I've got a whole selection of washi tape for Christmas here. But don't worry, friends. That's not all I have. I also have this whole bag of Christmas washi tape. So we can take our pick. Let's see. But don't worry, friends. I also have every probably Tim Holtz tape ever made, which I feel would go really well with some of this. And I also have tons of, what's the one we like? Amity Bloom tape, Joanna. I'm just digging over here. All right. Let's see if we can find one that we like. Here's some ruler, red plaid, the hollies. Ooh, the black. The words are sideways. Let's see what's in here. What about this plaid? I feel like I need something a little bit darker. This plaid. Here's some old, what is this called? Maggie Holmes tape, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's go with this one. All right, so I like to use washi tape, but I also feel like washi tape doesn't always hold up the best. So strong word of caution, please just add some extra adhesive to your washi tape. All right, just run it over a glue stick and it'll just will stay a little longer, especially if you're putting it on a seam, which I think I might be putting it on a fold. All right, you need all the help you can get. All the help you can get to make sure it stays. Because, I mean, if you're doing it, you might as well do it so it lasts forever. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Hi, somebody else is here. Good to see you. You have a 12 by 12 clear storage box of Christmas October afternoon? Just Christmas? Holy cow. I don't have that much. I have a whole clear bin of October afternoon, but not just Christmas. So, good job. Well, here's this cutoff. I wonder if we need to do it. Now, one of the ways to do like eclectic Christmas or eclectic layered look is to actually layer things. So don't be afraid to pop some little different colored papers on top of something. I think I'm gonna do this one right here, the music notes. All right, might even in screen. I know, I'm sorry, I'm working on the vertical screen. That's just the way it went today. All right, so I just put a mark there with my fingernail. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of seam that up and then just get ready to rip that. I mean, yes, I have paper cutters here, but why do that when I just can rip everything? All right, so just popping the cover on there like that and fold them over. We're gonna find where our bottom of our envelope stops. Somewhere like right there, right? So we're just gonna rip down to our mark here, and then we're going to fold that and rip it over. All right, nice crisp fold. So take your fingernails, take your, you know, what's that thing called that you use to make sharp creases? Bone folder, thank you. All right, and get yourself some nice creases. And then the paper will just, most of the time, just rip for you. All right, we're gonna put him right there. We're gonna find the fold for it. Because you wanna fold it before you glue it so it doesn't hopefully have issues. I mean, we all have issues, am I right? Am I right? But if you can avoid, if you can avoid some of them, go for that, right? Do that. All right, so we've got our music paper. This is Christmas. Music paper is like, I think it's Jingle Bells on there. So it's very cute. It's very cute to add in. All right, so it looks like I might need to trim this guy up a little bit. He's hanging over. So I wonder if I went far enough, but that's okay. That's what washi tape is for. Well, we'll cut him off here in a minute. All right, so I'm gonna put some glue, not And the cutout part, of course. Just along the edges. I'm using Fabri-Tac. I love it. God, there's so many bottles of it. All right, and I'm just gonna push my paper into the fold and secure it down from the front. I like that. And then we've got to get this cut off here because I didn't do that first. So let's find a seam for that guy where he's gonna go. Like that. All right, next time trim your papers first. That was a note of caution to myself and to you. All right, so just making a nice crease there. I wonder if we can just rip her. Not well. All right. One second chance. It's rustic for sure. Boop. Boop. Okay, there we go. That is definitely my style. A little bit of grunge and bright colors. And then I probably need some washi tape or other paper to put here. And I do have this strip of this cut off from the holly tree spot. So I think I might try to use him here. So let's find out the most desirable piece of it. I think we're just gonna go with that. I'm gonna put glue stick down. Oh, that's right. This is a envelope. This is a, what do you call it? A pocket. So we don't want to cover that up. Okay. Awesome. I think I'm still going to put this guy right here though. Just as a little cover. Nope. I changed my mind. We're going to grab some washi tape. We're going to grab this one right here, I think, and cover up that edge. So I'm glad I remembered there was a pocket there. Sometimes when I'm working live on the camera, I kind of get going. Well, I mean, let's not lie, Julie. Sometimes I get going, I just forget everything. So we're just gonna drop and scooch in a little piece of washi tape right there. That's nice. Okay, so we've got the inside almost done. So remember, there's our front. We need a little bit of paper on him. Kind of like this green music paper. I didn't trim it. Let's trim it real quick. How long does it need to be? Just folding her up like that. We're already 30 minutes in. Distressed. Yes, that's probably the word I was looking for. Thank you. All right. Don't be afraid of your supplies. And I feel like lots of times, I don't know if you guys feel this way, when I go on retreat, it's almost like I give myself permission to use things because I'll take it. I'll be like, well, I brought it. I might as well use it. Instead of when I'm just at my house creating, I struggle with giving myself permission to use the things. And that's kind of the same thing like when I go on here on YouTube or on Instagram. It's almost like I've given myself permission to use the things. And so it's easier for me to cut things up that I've been saving or hoarding. So you should try it sometime if you maybe struggle with that. Like, it's almost freeing. So thank you guys for being here with me so I can use this stuff up and make something hopefully that ends up being beautiful. All right, so there's our front cover. And like I said, I'm going to put the little door on there. Yeah, that's cute. I think I'm gonna start hitting it with some Distress ink. Now I think I'm only gonna be on here for about an hour. So I'm just gonna get as far as I can, and then the rest I'll just keep working on, and then I'll be putting on Instagram. I'll probably do some lives. I've been thinking about this. I think I'll do like the first 12 days of December, kind of like I did last year if you were here with me. I every day made a little reel and made a little tag that went into a little book that I was making using a Christmas collection from last year, and that was super fun. Like I said, it's like almost freeing to go on Instagram or here on YouTube and get those, like give myself permission to do those things. All right, I need to fold this paper before I get too much further. Where's that envelope? So right in here. Didn't I say I should fold before I glue? All right, taking it back this way. And another one this way. And back and back. It's definitely not perfect, right? But it is coming along cute. So I need to get something cute here because it's not going to be backed up. I see. Okay. So what if we did, let's see, we've got this one out here. We could do this. Roses are pretty. What about this one? That's not bad. I did not trim this one. Let's see if I can find my trimmer and trim that up really quick. All right, so I'll pop in my cutter. So fun fact, some people, you either love or you hate this Tim Holtz trimmer. I was actually at a retreat this summer. It was, let's see, was it Caitlin's crop? It might have been Caitlin's, or it was at the Crafting Through the Holidays. I can't remember which one it was because it was at the same place. Anyway, you know, you have a little trash can at your desk, and then you take it and you dump it in the big trash can whenever it's full. Anyway, I was doing that, and I was walking to the big trash can and dumping my little trash bin out. And in the trash can, in the big trash can, was this, not, this is mine, but what I'm saying is somebody had thrown theirs away there at one of the retreats. And I was like, okay, so you're either you love this or you hate this. So somebody obviously hated that. And just in the spirit of being a recycler, I gently pulled it out of the trash because it was like at the top, and I stuck it like across the trash can, like so it was sitting out of the trash. And later I came by and it was gone. So somebody hopefully took it and decided to give it a try. So hopefully it went on and stayed out of the landfill and went on to a better life somewhere. Oh yeah, that's pretty. All right, so let's get this glued on and cut it, or let's cut it and then glue it, whatever. All right, so I'm just gonna fold her over again and make some marks. There's the topper right there, and then the back of the envelope is approximately at the end of this red stripe. So, okay, I think I'm gonna pull my cutter back out and just gently cut this. I feel like my cutters, none of them, because I have the Fiskars one too, none of them like the cardstock I print on. So this is a printable, right? Now they have no problem with the cardstock that comes from the manufacturing company, but the stuff that I print on, it like just rips it up. Anybody else have that issue? So you can see how the edges are quite ripped. Not that I'm not okay with it, but sometimes I don't want the rip. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't want the rip. Oh, what was I thinking? Well, that's why you're for talking. I cut it wrong, but that's okay. We'll just make it work. So is this a pocket too? No, it's not a pocket. All right, let's glue this on the top here. Coming in hot on the top. All right, so the goal is to make the base, cover everything, and hopefully one of the signatures sewed in. I actually saw yesterday, if you follow, let's see, who was it? My Porch Prints, they're doing a freebies this week, so you should probably go check that out. But she did a technique yesterday where she attached her signatures with brads. I never, ever, ever, ever seen that before. And I thought, well, that looks like fun. So I am going to try that today with this little book. I'm gonna try it. I think I'm gonna put these roses on the back of this envelope. I'm gonna fake it like that. And then I'm gonna put this word on the bottom here and make a little mishmash. And I might use my black washi tape to fill it in. Okay, so I do have to trim the edges here. You want me to have a hashtag, Joanna? I don't have a hashtag. But feel free to tag me for sure. All right. And if I can come up with a hashtag. Any thoughts? Anybody? Open to suggestions. All right, so that's cute on the back there, like that. And then we'll come in with this word right here. All right, so I'm gonna trim him there. This is gorgeous. I think this is a freebie on somebody's site. Oh, I wish I could remember. It's a good stuff. Now, don't forget, I do have a freebie linked below in the description box here. So if you are interested in trying out some printables, I have not used any of them yet, but I was going to use them more for decorating. Like I don't have any full pages to use for covering. All right, so we're going to put him right there. I'm going to have some glue like that. And a little over. I think we're going to do a little teeny tiny overlap like that. Well, that's more than I wanted, but here we are. All right, and then I think, like I said, that black washi tape with the words. This is, I think it's a Tim Holtz one from a while back. I got a little glue on my finger. And just adding some glue, not well, but adding some glue and then plopping it down like that. Now everything I'm adding right now is just flat stuff. I'm just adding paper. This is not the final look. This is just the base, just the getting started part. All right, we're gonna make sure that the words, I like this little green 7 brand new ever blooming roses. Make sure that gets into the look here. All right. So in case you've never read your bottle of Fabri-Tac, do you know that you can thin it with acetone, 100% acetone? It says it right on the bottle, right here in the directions. So if your Fabri-Tac starts doing that gloopy, bloppy thing that you don't like, nobody likes, everybody complains about it, but get some acetone and add it in there. Just a little bit. Then shake it up real good. All right, and then it hopefully will start working a little better. I'm trying to decide if I should wrap that sucker over like that. Nope, I don't think I will. We're gonna trim him. we're gonna go ahead and fold him and rip him. Nice folds with your fingernail bone folder like that. And then you're taking off the excess. Okay, so this is what we have so far. We've got our front cover covered in this green, gorgeous music paper from Pink Paper Peppermints. Sad Pink Paper Peppermints is not having her store open anymore. I see you, Joanna. I see what you did there. All right, so that is not available for the moment, but I'm sure you could find some green music paper somewhere, and then some music paper inside. This is scrapbook paper, and I'll just, that's right, I cut it open, so I'll just put some washi tape or trim right there. I'll probably put a pocket inside here, my little door. Now, I'm not a fan of all these things on this door, so let's go ahead. I've got some wire cutters or little, those button shank snippers. All right, so this guy is going away. This was just from Hobby Lobby last year, 2 years ago. I don't know when it was from. Just have a date, 2022. All right, but anything that's flat-ish, you want to put on the front cover. Most people just put images, but I like everything chunky. All right, so I ripped that bow off. I took the, whatever that was, off, wire hanger. I think I'm just gonna glue it right there, but I think it needs a little bit more of a backer. So let's find another little piece of paper that'll work as a little bit of a backer. All right, let me go back to my pouch and see if one of these will work. This is actually, love this green paper here. This is from the inside of a science textbook. And I just love the paper so much, I just kept the end paper. All right, I see Joanna. Let me see it. She's got a hashtag for me. Julie loves Christmas. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Julie loves Christmas 2025. I don't even know if I put the year on there. I was going to change everything to Julie loves Christmas. That's fantastic. Thank you, Joanna. All right, so I'm going to pop in with a little bit of this olive, this perfect olive vintage green end paper from this science textbook. All right, so I'm just gonna find about how big I want it or need it, and get my scissors under there and give it a little start like that, and another little start on the bottom. All right, and then I'll know exactly where to cut. Sometimes you use your paper trimmer, sometimes you don't. All right, glue. All right, just coming in, finding my cut that I made, lining it up as best I can. Like that, and trimming her the other way too. It doesn't quite fit in my trimmer this way. Just gonna find my little cut spot. And about right there. I just don't want to cut all the way through, so I'm just starting in the middle. And there we go. Now we got a little piece of this perfectly perfect green, and of course it's a little too tall. So I'm just gonna rip a little section off of it like that. Still a little too tall. I measured, it was scientific. I don't know what happened, but there we go. All right, I feel like I'm missing a little bit of the green music, so let's just continue our way around with a little more rippage. Okay, so there's a little bit of background, something like that. It doesn't go this way, but I'm okay with that. And then I think I'm gonna take my scissors and just do a little roughen. If you got the Tim Holtz paper distresser, which I do, I see it from where I'm standing, grab that. That will help you do this. I'm also grabbing my scissors and just hitting it and distressing the edges a little bit, the straight edges. I also have the distressor, the electric distressor, but that scissors seem to do the job. All right, something like that. And then we're gonna do a little more wreathing and a new bow. All right, on my green paper down, get into the edges, a nice little backdrop for my door. I'm just eyeballing and measuring with my eye right here on this side and on the bottom to make sure it's pretty straight, because over here there's nothing I can use to get it straight. And then I think I'm gonna hit it with a little distress ink on the corners. Like that. Okay, my door is kind of distressed already, but maybe we need a little ink on the front too. I don't know if that did anything. All right, and then we're gonna glue him right there and put a new bow on him, and it's gonna be amazing. All right, some glue all the way. Glue, glue. We're gonna set him down and push, apply pressure for a few minutes. Grab yourself something heavy for a few minutes and just set that on there. All right, very cute. And then I need to do a little bow on the door. I have a little bit of this holly fabric I had tied around my spindle. Let's see if we can make a cute little bow out of this. All right, it's just ripped fabric with a little cute little holly pattern on it. All right, just making a little bow. The littler the better, the cuter. The littler the cuter. I'm just gonna pop out this side so you can see the bright colors. I don't know. I feel like that's cute, and it matches the holly that I got going everywhere else. So I'm gonna go ahead and fishtail my edges. Not like that, this way. Fishtail just adds that little V-cut on the end. All right. And we got these little, I'm not sure about these metal things. I'm gonna leave them on for now, and if I decide to cut them off, I'll cut them off later. But we're just gonna glue him to the door like that. Put a little fabric tack on the back and press him on. All right. I feel like we got a pretty good thing going on here. I think I'm ready to add one of my signatures, and my first one is going to be this guy right here. He needs a little haircut, a little trimming up to make sure he is looking good. All right, make sure he's fitting in there. So all I did was measure the width of my business envelopes to get the right size for how wide they should be. And of course, height wise is the length of it. Now this little doohickey is a little fold out kind of masterboard thing. I made this last year and I didn't know what to do with it, so I just put it in my Christmas stuff, and I found it again this year, and I decided this is the time to add it to this project. This is what I made it for, apparently. So we're going to use it as the front of our first signature here for our flip-flop journal. It'll continue to fold like that, but it'll open, and we'll have this and this and this, another fold out inside it. This is also Pink Paper Peppermint Comfort and Joy collection. Looks like I wrote it on there. So how are you going to do the signatures, you ask? I'm glad you asked. All right, so I'm going to set this down lightly so it can stay. I'm going to go ahead and sew them in here, and you can see what a nice fit it is right there. That's pretty. I think I'm going to go ahead and just leave the length and let it be what it's going to be. But like I said yesterday, I saw my porch prince making a journal, and she was making and putting her signatures in with brads. So I went and looked at my brads, and I thought, well, these little diamond stud brads I've had forever might be super cute for that. So we're going to give it a try today. Okay, so it's almost the same principle where you poke your holes and then sew your signatures in, except we're going to be poking our holes and then adding brads to it to hold them in. And I'm going to do at least 2, maybe 3. We'll see with these little rhinestone brads I have. I might have some more in my box. I just didn't get the chance to go in there and dig through. I'm looking for my phone book right now, but I can't seem to find it. So I'm just going to use this self-healing mat. All right, now I need to remind myself I need the brads to be about this high. Okay. And so now that I'm thinking about it, the brads are going to be on this side. So let's cover this up really quickly, and then there's no issue. All right, you sit right there and wait just a second. Okay, so this one on the back here, I think I'm going to grab this guy and just have him be a moment here, like this. And you've got the little guy walking, the little angel with the tree. Let me pull this into the picture a little bit better. All right, we're going to put this guy in like this a little bit. All right, what time are we looking at? Oh, 2:52. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and drop down some glue and glue this guy on, trim him up, and then put our signature in. And that's where we're going today, people. All right, lots of glue. I don't like anything to fall off. I mean, that is one thing I've noticed with this Fabri-Tac. If you use Fabri-Tac as opposed to like tape runners. I mean, I love tape runners. I love it. It's nice and easy, no problems. But sometimes I go back and look at stuff and things have fallen off. And that makes me not happy. I'm grumpy when that happens. All right, here we go. Now this is also from the Ruby and Pearl XO, I think, Christmas morning kit. All right, we've got that ready. We're just gonna do a little trimmy trim, give him his little haircut. We're gonna fold him up. Nice crisp fold there. Use your ruler, or hopefully it'll just kind of peel off. All right, looks like I did get it a little crooked, but you know, it's the way it goes. So then up here at the top, I'm just, instead of folding it, I'm just gonna go with some scissors and try to gently cut it off straight. And I think you all know what I mean by gently cut it off straight, because that's next to impossible sometimes. All right. Here we go. We don't get hung up on it. We just do it. We just do it. All right, just making this fold right here. All right, folding that over. Our door still on. That's a plus. All right, back to sewing in the signature. Like I said, we're going to use our brads. We're going to poke some holes. We've got this little folio and some coffee dyed paper and this little piece of pink paper peppermint. And I just want to make sure I hit with inside, so I can see the edge of my folio here, and I can see the other edge here. So I just want to make sure my holes are in between that. So I'm just going to push straight down like that. I'm going to get stuck in the mat, and same thing over here, about the same distance. All right, I want to get stuck in the mat, not in my desk, but in the mat. That's why I use a foam book, so I can push really hard down into the things, and then I can see I do have some holes coming through. And then next step was to take the brad. These are different color gemstones, but I like the length of them. I have some small brads, but they're, the tines of the brads seem pretty short. Pretty short, and I don't want short tines. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can get it through the back and then poke it into the folio without being a total hot mess. That folio is pretty hard paper. All right, I got it through one. I need to get it through the coffee dye paper. There's that hole. And I made it through. Now the trick about it is you want to make sure your tines of your brad lay down